Hello everyone, hope you've been doing well. Welcome to this Should You Pull Guard Captain Krau video. So let's get started with this kit. So that's Krau. So let's start with this one maybe. Attack the enemy with a Mystic Blade, increasing combattiveness by 20%. Successful attack deals additional damage proportional to caster's defense. And damage dealt scales with defense as well. So nothing special on S1, some cycling, which is nice, and that's it really. Then S2, attack the enemy, pushing them, inflict stun for 1 turn, decrease combat readiness by 50%. That's really huge. That's actually really strong. Like minus 50% into a stun, you're basically never taking a turn, so that's really fucking huge. And the caster is granted Vigor, Ignore ER, and then scales with defense as well. And finally, S3, you grant yourself Vigor, attack all enemies, absorb some of the damage as health, increase combat readiness for the caster by 50%, which is huge. So he has very, very good cycling, right? Plus 50%, plus 20%. Can trigger a critical hit, penetrate the target defense. Okay, damage dealt increase proportionals. Okay, so he scales with defense. He gives himself Vigor turn 1. And then he can stun, ignore ER, he can push back. He cycles really fast. And Soul Burn increase damage dealt and attack a single target. So basically it's a reverse of Blue Krau, right? Like Blue Krau is single target penetration, and then if you Soul Burn, you decrease damage and you attack everyone. He's the opposite. Okay. So defense scaling unit, pretty good kit, very good cycling. On top of his cycling, 3 turns cooldown on S3, 3 turns cooldown on S2, which means if you play him with like anything that like reset cooldown, right, which is like SSV right now, Laia, LRK, you can S3 into S2 into S3, so that's really fucking huge. And yeah, overall pretty solid kit. Now let's take a look at his artifact. At the start of battle, acquires 10 soul. When attacking, increase damage. When using a soul burn, increase damage even more. That's honestly a pretty good artifact. Like it's half a book, but with additional bonus on top. And it's on a warrior, so yeah, like really good artifact. Gotta appreciate the fact that it's actually not a whale artifact. Like you don't need it plus 30 to work. Plus 15 works just fine, just lose some damage, which is perfectly acceptable. So that's very, very nice. It gives attack and defense instead of attack and HP. So that's the first time it happens. It's kind of nice too, because it's defense scaling, right? So yeah, I know, pretty good artifact. Like pretty nice overall that it's not a whale artifact. And it makes him able to soul burn turn 1. Which is really, like, I mean, yeah, it's really important because his damage on single targets are actually pretty crazy. Like, basically, I think his multis are like 50% defense on S3, and if you soul burn, it's like 135, something like that, I think. So it's almost three times as much damage, which is crazy. Alright. So that's it for his kit and his artifact. Now, should you pull or not? Yes, you should definitely pull. He's really strong. He does have counterplay, he does have weaknesses, but he's definitely really strong. You can build him really fast, you can build him slow, doesn't really matter that much. Like, depends what you want to do with him. But overall, like, he's a very, very tanky unit, and he deals crazy amount of damage. Plus, this season Frenzy is pretty good for him. Like, extra defense is nice, extra attack is okay. And finally, the not being weak to like elemental advantage basically getting removed is really, really huge for him. So yeah, definitely you should definitely pull for him, but I wouldn't recommend pulling more than 1 copy. Like, I think you just want 1 copy of Krau and 1 copy of his artifact. So if you do get more copies of his artifact while pulling though, because I definitely recommend buying it with like dust. If you get more copies while pulling, I think it's nice to potentially keep extra copies laying around. because like you don't really need plus 30, right? Just more damage, which is nice, but like not I can definitely do without. You can definitely do without. And this artifact is like it's very unique, right? Like it's the first time, it's half a book for warrior with some extra effects. So we could definitely see more warriors making use of it in the future. So yeah, I think if you have extra copies, just like don't feed them, keep them laying around. You never know if you might need them later on. And yeah, that's it. So one copy of Krau and at least one copy of his artifact, pretty good to have. Now we'll see how to build him. Yes. So how to build him? Yeah, this is my build obviously. Nothing special, just like speed immunity. Now you can build him really fast. Like I've seen some, like I've seen people with like 300 speed Crow, which is like I mean it's not, it's good, but it's definitely not attainable for like most players, right? Like most players can't really make 300 speed Crow with like 2.5k defense. So give me a second. Yeah, most people can't really build 2.5k defense 300 speed Crow, surprisingly enough. So if you can't, like, the only reason to be that fast, I mean it's not, it's good for cycling and stuff, but then you're somewhat squishy, right? Like the main reason why you'd want to be so fast on Krau is to go before Diane, in my opinion. Like to go before Diane, to go before like a few units that could potentially like be really annoying for him. Mostly Diane, but if you can do that, then you don't really have to be that fast. Like it doesn't really matter. You can just build him slow, and then just like kill stuff slowly, and then like that's it. It's just speed is good on him because like his cycling is already really good, right? He gets extra CR, so you can like really overwhelm your opponent pretty fast if you build him fast on top, right? But it's definitely not necessary. So just build him like, I would say the priority something like 2.5k defense, then speed, then HP. Like that's the priority in my opinion for him. You can give him 100 ER if you want. I don't give a fuck about it personally, but I mean you can if you want to, and it doesn't do anything with like effectiveness or anything. So yeah, defense, yeah, 2.5k defense, then speed, then HP, and speed immunity. Or speed defense, whichever you. I like immunity, so I'm always immunity. But if you make him really fast, then you can go defense, right? Like if you're 300 speed, it's probably fine to be defense set because you're gonna go first anyway. So what does immunity do? Yeah, that's it. Like that's it for the build. If you're slow though, like me, if you're slow, you don't have to really like tune him with anything. I feel like because ideally you'd like him to go after you really nav and after your Ras maybe, right? So you give him like defense buff, indomitable before he has 3. But in practice it's not very doable because you don't really want to make your really nav too fast. You can't really make your Ras too fast. And you don't really want Krau to be too like you don't really want Krau to be too slow either. Because while having defense buff is really nice, or indomitable, right? It boosts your damage. For your first S3, it's pretty nice. Cycling is really important on him because that's one of the things that makes him like so good, basically. Like being able to like cycle S3, S2 so fast is what makes him like really, really strong. Aside from like his crazy damage. So yeah. That's it for the build. And now, what is he good? What's good with him? So, I mean, nothing special with him. Anything that can push him is good. So, Pera is pretty good with him. Like, yeah, I don't have her, but yeah. Like, Pera is pretty good with him, right? Because she helps him cycle a lot, and like, cycling is really good on him. So, Pera is really good with him. Anything that gives you tempo, basically, like ML Politis. And then more defensively speaking, Ilinav is pretty good. Like, you kind of want to draft Ilinav with him mostly to deny her from your opponent, right? Like, if you don't pre-ban her, being able to like just go Ilinav and then your opponent can pick her anymore. So then now they're forced into Diane, but you can threaten to post ban potentially. Like, it's pretty annoying. And then they're playing Diane, who isn't, in my opinion, that good overall. Or well, she can be awkward to fit into drafts. So yeah, you really want Ilinav with him, and then that's about it really. Like, it doesn't really have anyone he has crazy synergy with. It's mostly you want Ilinav, so you don't face Ilinav basically. Like, yeah, that's mostly it. And then what's good against him? Ilinav again. Obviously, Diane is pretty good, but she might not be enough because some people have really fast Krau. And in this case, you have Belayan who's pretty good. Belayan is pretty good against him. Because he really wants to soul burn. Like, that's the thing, he really wants to soul burn to like do crazy damage. His S3 without soul burn, it's good damage, don't get me wrong. It's definitely not bad, but it's not game changing basically. It's not game changing. Like, if he can soul burn, he's gonna nuke one of your units turn 1. If he can soul burn, yeah, like, I don't know, he does damage, it's nice, and he has some CC, but definitely not nearly as crazy. So yeah. But yeah, overall though, like, this unit is basically a red, I don't have her anymore, but like a red Wayong. But like, they basically reprinted Wayong, but yeah, I don't really know why. I don't know. Like, he's basically pre-nerf Wayong with like a bit more counterplay because he's weak to Belayan. So like, Wayong with a bit more counterplay. But I don't know, like, why not just buff Wayong? Anyway, what can you do? So yeah, that's it for the review. So definitely pull for him, get one copy of his artifact. He's gonna be really good in RTA, at least for this season. And he's gonna be, I think he's pretty good in like Guild War attack. So for what it's worth. Pretty good in Guild War attack, like, he's very consistent, right? So yeah. Guild War attack, RTA, and that's it. I don't really see him working like PV or defense, but you know. Anyway, that's it for the review. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great day. Peace.